distant call of an osprey breaks the silence as you watch the fog roll off of the water in front of you. The sun is just starting to peek over the treetops as you prepare to go fishing on your favorite lake. Summer is one of the most exciting times to go fishing. The bass have moved offshore to deep water. The first place you want to look is for this deep water that has underwater structure. You also want to use large baits that mimic the natural forage of bass. To start, bass move to deep water during the summer to stay cool since the shallow waters become warm. You'll notice if you've ever been swimming in a lake during the summer, the water is very warm close to the surface but gets cooler as you go down. You want to find that deep water by locating online topographic and bathymetric maps, such as this map of Lake Yale, where you can see in this area is much deeper than these other areas. The next thing that you want to do is find structure. You also want to locate ledges and steep drops that are usually found near main lake points, such as this point here. As you see, the contour lines get much closer together, which indicates a steep drop. That's an area that you want to target. Moving water is another great place to find big bass. Culverts, creeks, springs, channels, they all have current. The bass use that current to ambush their prey. The bass sit just outside of the current, and as the bait fish gets pushed through the current, bass goes up, grabs the bait fish, and comes back out. Underwater trees, shell, deep weed patches in or around deep water are ideal places to catch big fish as well, because they also use it to ambush their prey. Well, now that we know where to go fishing, we need to find out what kind of baits to use. Crankbaits are a great bait to use to catch fish during the summer. Deep diving crankbaits in particular. What they do is they mimic the natural bait fish movement and look. They're great because they can cover a lot of water in a very short amount of time. So what you do is you go out and fish a large area quickly with a crankbait, and when you start catching fish, you want to slow down and use something like a Carolina rig. Carolina rig is basically a large lead weight, glass bead, which is optional, swivel, about a 2-foot leader, followed by your bait of choice, usually a plastic worm of some sort. The great thing about a Carolina rig is you fish it very slow, keeping constant contact with the bottom, since the lead weight is very heavy. What that does is allows you to feel that grass, the shell, the rock, the trees. And it's a great tool to find out what those fish are relating to, and it lets you kind of put together the puzzle. When choosing a particular color, it varies vastly from lake to lake which color to use. But the general rule of thumb is, if you don't know, it's the darker the water, the darker the bait. That is to say, if you're fishing dark water, you want to use a black to a purple colored worm. If you're fishing clear water, such water like this, you want to use a lighter colored bait. In conclusion, to start off your next fishing excursion, you want to locate deep water with lots of underwater structure. And you want to use baits like a crankbait to find fish, and then slow down to figure out what those fish are relating to. By employing these few simple techniques, you too can be successful on your next fishing trip. But the most important thing to remember is just get out there and have fun.